What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
and today we're diving into Welcome to Derry, episode 3.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one we're on today. And I cannot wait. I really think this is opening up. If you guys are enjoying this series so far, let us know in the comments below. And that's kind of how this channel works. So a quick rundown as before we dive in. If you're brand new here, welcome. If you're just tuning back in, welcome back. We are a show about shows. We like talking about entertainment. We don't ever pretend to be experts. We just really love character growth, story arcs. We're trying to predict the plot and sharing the mysteries and Easter eggs with you guys. And so if that's what you enjoy, then think of this like a break room after you've watched your favorite show. You go there, you talk about what you liked, what you didn't like, you share your theories. That's what we do here, and you do that in the comments below. All we ask is that you don't spoil what's to come. So whatever theory you may have, as long as it's not a spoiler, put it in the comments below. If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button. If you want to continue this journey with us, hit the subscribe button, and that way you never miss a single episode. But without further ado, let's talk about it.
So we go back to 1908, and they're not clowning around. Sorry.
Oh, where's Adam Holland when you need a good dad joke? That was a good one, though. No, yeah, we get a flashback, right? Yeah, we start with a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The little boy with his father at the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird carnies.
Yeah. So it's definitely a throwback to like the boardwalk carny days, like the original, like before.
Well, the time period fits.
Yeah. Well, P.T. Barnum and those guys kind of like changed the way the world looked at the circus, changed the way the world looked at like the odd shows, the freak shows back then, but like the odd people in the world who had something to bring just by the way they looked. They kind of like revolutionized the way that looked, because back in the day, yeah, they were like a traditional like a carny or a gypsy style like caravan of people that the world had forgotten or just didn't fit in, right? Like that's how it used to be perceived.
Outcast.
Exactly. And that's very much what they're leaning into in this, is like that outcast group of circus carnies that may or may not be associated with Pennywise, which is kind of like what they're associating with. We're supposed to think that like the one clown sitting here with the red balloons, like all of that's supposed to symbolize that to us, but it's also like a red herring misdirect, because Pennywise is actually in the woods already still, like, so he's already an entity out there. Yeah.
And it shows that he still has the influence too.
Yeah.
So the little boy goes in there, which we come to find out is the general.
Yes, we find out towards the end of the episode that they are one and the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when the general is, because he is a general, right?
Yes.
My thoughts are. I've never paid attention to what the rank on his uniform was. Yeah, I know that.
Well, you're just not looking in the show.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the rank.
Yeah. Well, you were Navy, so you might have picked, like, it's a different ranking system than Army.
They all have stars.
I was just trying to give you some defense here, brother.
All right. But yeah, I wasn't really looking at his rank. I was looking more at how he's acting and the things that he's saying, because that's the important part. Rank is not really as important to me anymore.
All details matter. They're there for a reason.
Yeah.
That's the scout in me.
But he goes into the haunted house thing or whatever.
It's the Hall of Mirrors.
The Hall of Mirrors. Yeah. Okay. So he's still he goes in there. He comes across this really creepy one-eyed dude, which we end up seeing again.
You meet him. So when he's walking through, you see all the billboards, like signs of the different attractions, like Wolf Boy, Skeleton Man. That's who he was. So the man he meets is actually one of the carnies. He's just, so emaciated and so old that he looks like a walking skeleton. And he gets so frightened by him that he does scare him. He scares the shit out of him. Like, he definitely does it on purpose. And he runs out of there and runs into his dad. And dad's basically like, don't be a little bitch. Right. So,
yeah, don't be a sissy.
Yeah. So that gives Pennywise his biggest fear. Which he then uses against them later.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting to see that how that happens, how Pennywise brings that fear out of you. It's kind of cool.
And then when they're leaving in their car, it overheats conveniently right next to a little stand that sells water from the native people that are there. Where he runs into a little girl. He's like, man, that carnival cleaned me out.
Yeah.
All that stuff, because most of those things are kind of scams anyway. So, but he ends up giving his son this slingshot. The son's kind of excited about the slingshot. It's pretty cool, right? Especially that time period. That's an excellent gift. And so they he needs to go buy water so that they can actually get home. Father gives him all the money he's got left, which is a little short. And little native girl is like, is that a slingshot? And he realizes, uh-oh, I might be in love now.
Yeah. I think it was love at first sight for him. He was like, whoa.
Yeah. And so ultimately, he trades a slingshot and is able to get the water. They're able to get home with the father. The father's like, what happened to the slingshot? Think he was an irresponsible little kid and just lost it or something. Yeah. Doesn't realize that his son actually did a sacrifice for his father and for them to get home. And ultimately leads us into a fun little journey, a little summer camp romance style thing.
Yeah, summer loving.
Yeah. And they're off playing, and he ends up going someplace he's not supposed to. He goes into the woods, and she's like, no, don't go there.
Yeah, they were like playing tag or something. Like they were running. Like he was trying to run from her because they were playing around, right? So that's the only reason I was like, well, why wouldn't he just stop? Like, they're probably playing a game in which if he does stop, he tags her or something, and then he doesn't want to stop.
You're out.
Yeah. So he just keeps booking it, and then turns around and realizes, oh shit, I went too far.
But she knows so much more at a younger age than I expected. Like, I was not expecting her to be in on what those woods were.
Yeah. So I would love to know, honestly, when the natives trap Pennywise, because her grandparents or her grandparents' parents, then yes, it would be passed down story after story after story. Hey, don't go in the woods, right? And that would be knowledgeable to the tribe, across the tribe, to keep their children safe.
Yep, stories is how information was shared then.
Yeah, so that would make the most sense, is like, she's a descendant of one of the original members of the tribe who trap him there.
And we see a little bit more of that when she's talking to, I don't know whether it's her son, but I think grandson, nephew.
He calls her aunt.
Okay, but that's also a common in very tribal life. So auntie is a sign of respect for a woman.
Yep, absolutely, but it makes me associate to nephew because of the word.
Okay, so no idea whether they are blood there?
Yeah. I want to say yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I do get what you're saying. There are a lot of cultures where auntie is just a term of endearment rather than an actual blood-tied relative.
Especially in tribal cultures. Yeah. Whether it be islanders or natives here, right? So same idea. That's why my mind couldn't definitively say, oh, yeah, they're definitely blood. But she doesn't want him doing anything. She wants him kind of staying out of it seems.
Only because she wants to know why the government's in there. She hadn't yet realized who it was. So the one thing that we learned, I believe it's in It Too, the movie, when the kids grow up and they leave Derry. Pennywise, the way Pennywise works is if he can't scare you, if he can't control you and use you, then he gifts you prosperity. So what ends up happening is you start getting so much windfall and so much luck and so much like prosperity in your life that you don't ever want to come back to Derry. And he also starts to make you forget the things that would want you to come back or that scared you. So it's almost like if he can't use you, then he
sends you away.
He forces you to stay away by giving you the life of your dreams.
Okay. I didn't gather that part. I didn't gather the blessings part.
Yeah, so it's a blessing for you, but it's also a very selfish means for him because he's keeping away someone who can hurt him. Because if you don't fear him, he has no use for you. In fact, you can actually go and use it against him. And so he's going to just give you prosperity and have you leave and keep the food source fresh.
Gotcha. All right. That makes sense. But the nephew brings up, it's the 1935 incident. Yeah. Which means there's a whole bunch of different incidents around this. And I'm gathering from how they died that they're victims of Pennywise.
Yes. So they even say it later, not in that scene, but when the military is talking about the same thing, they talk about the entity had taken one of his forms during that gunfight. So Pennywise was actively at that shootout. And then there's the newspaper article that I believe it was in last episode where Pennywise is like hanging out the window with the gun. Did we see, was that last episode?
I don't know.
Yeah, so Pennywise actually shows up for the gunfight, instigates the whole thing.
Got it. Okay. Because they were talking about the townspeople just went ham with their guns and just shot them up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. That's interesting. So we have this one incident going on here, but at the same time, we also have, is it Halloran the driver? Or is he the major?
I think he's the driver. The driver is the one that can the psychic.
Yes.
And then the major is the one that has no fear.
Yes, I get that. I'm just trying to figure out whether I'm using the right word to describe the driver, the right name.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, the driver goes to the major's house and has this whole conversation with him after they took the flight together in the
Correct.
ship?
After he saved his life from not jumping out is when he invites them over for dinner.
So let's talk about the Chinook ride real quick. So he's up there, he's in the box, he's going into like this little trance thing, and we come to see that what's in the box is the damn slingshot.
It is.
I thought that was really cool. A cool little addition there.
Which is our first hint that is the little boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But during his little, I don't know, in dimensional travel, whatever his psychic thing that he was doing, he was in a new location where his grandmother?
Yeah, they called her grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grandmother, I guess, was taking the grandmother's form to use that against him and telling him to escape because I guess he couldn't be tricked. But he starts to open up the doors to get the sewer thing. We got this giant visual mountain, which was stunning to see on film, right?
Yeah.
But convinces him that he's got to escape to live. Meanwhile, he's opening up the back hatch of the Chinook to jump out and ultimately get saved by the major. But we also realize, because he says something very important, he's like, he wasn't supposed to know we were coming. And to me, from that moment on, I was just like, ooh, okay. So they do have quite a bit of knowledge of this creature. They just don't have the complete picture yet, right? So this can go in so many different directions. We also have the gambling scene almost. I feel like they were gambling in that scene. I don't know if I actually saw cards.
The rec time they were doing?
Yeah.
When the water pours down on their table? Yeah.
I feel like before, because that sets up the part for him to ask for the favor.
Yeah, they're about to get an upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. But he was completely shot down by the general in terms of, we should back off on this.
Yeah, general's not backing off.
But the general also has a conversation with the native woman he was friends with, like, look, I don't remember shit until I got here, which was what you were talking about. So I'm attempting to help connect all those dots and organize these things together. So we have so much going on, and I don't know, because it feels like he went there to manipulate her to get the information, and floods of memories were coming back, and it feels like he's almost gaining his love for her again on the final walk away from her shop.
Yeah. There's a lot going on with all of that, right? So Halloran is he's psychic, but he's also like, I don't want to call him a tracker, but he can hone in on energy, like more than just psychically.
Like psychic radar.
He can read your mind, which we found out you can feel it when he does it.
And we found out he was one of those guys in the mask, too.
Which is how the major realized it. He's like, I can feel you reading my mind like I felt you reading my mind that night. Yeah. Don't ever do that again.
And he said that you weren't the one with the pipe.
Yeah. No, he said he wasn't.
Yeah.
And he's really honest about it, too, with him. That, like, I was there. But, for me, he plays a significant role because without him, he's a locator, right? He can locate Pennywise. But at the same time, you brought up, like, I think the most significant turning point of this episode. Pennywise goes, who are you, right? Like, he's very curious now that there is someone who can project themselves into the heart of his lair. Like, that's not good for him. Like, if you've seen it too, like, there's a huge battle that happens in that area. And like he's very unhappy that they're in his lair.
I feel like when Pennywise is running through the woods chasing the young general, that was very much a nod to how he shifted during one of those fights in that sewer area.
Yeah, that thing was crazy looking. And that's the thing, like, they even mentioned it, like, took one of his forms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a cosmic entity. Like, they're like, the clown is just one of the things he chooses to be. Because it scares most people. But, like, he also becomes, like, the grotesque skeleton.
8 clowns.
The mother giving birth. Like, he becomes all of these things. Which the kids kind of caught on to this episode. They were like, whatever it is, it's taking on the form of the things we fear. It's taking on these forms. It's like a altered version of those things. I think it's Ronnie who brings it up. She's starting to catch on to like what it is. So that's interesting to me too, because the more you understand something, the less you're afraid of it.
So the young girl who got put in the psych ward, Lily. Yes, thank you. There was an older woman talking to her there.
The head of the housekeepers.
Is that actively Pennywise in that situation?
I don't think so. I think that actress is an Easter egg.
Okay. For?
A different Stephen King novel or another Stephen King character. I'm trying to put my finger on it because she seemed so familiar to me.
And comfortable with what she was saying. Like, I don't think you're crazy at all.
Yeah, I think she has knowledge. Like she's an inside character, and that's where I'm kept my finger on it right now. The comments are probably going to be great for this.
I think that's why I naturally went straight to could this be one of his controlling apparitions or people?
Usually we get a tell. Like the smile goes weird or the eye does something. Like the one little boy's eye goes to the side and then later the smile. Like there's usually a sign that Pennywise is doing something. Where in this one, it was more like
the orderlies when she first shows up.
Right.
Both of them, just a creepy smile.
Yeah. So there's usually an indication. So for me, this is the children starting to find their adult allies.
Okay.
Right. Like, so she may end up in the story becoming a more significant player in the battle against Pennywise.
I'm surprised they let Lily out so quickly, though. But I guess they need it for the story because once she's out, she goes straight to Ronnie and is like, look, I'm willing to tell everything, tell the complete truth. I was tricked. I want to help you.
Well,
now,
if you think about why she got locked up, it does make sense. Because usually it's a 48-hour psych hold for anyone who has a break like that to ensure their personal safety. So she probably only got locked up for 2 days.
Just to watch
and make sure that the psychotic break she had, where she threw the jar of pickles in the shopping center, wasn't a sign of something more.
Okay.
And once she proved to them it wasn't, that she was cohesive, able to have a conversation, just a scared girl, because Pennywise is fucking scaring the shit out of her, then they let her go. Yeah.
I mean, that would scare the shit out of pretty much any of us.
But that, I mean,
who you are.
As veterans, you know, with PTSD and a lot of the things that we deal with, sometimes we get put on a 48-hour psych hold. So that would make sense that it'd be very, very same for her.
Definitely part of that club.
Me too. I'm going to put one for. Yep.
All right. So we have the kids getting together again. They've got their new gang together, and they come up with a plan that they need evidence. And so they seek out the Major's son, who's the smart, sciencey one, to figure out a way to take pictures and use the chemicals and all that stuff to develop the film after, because they've deemed that if they bring it in, they'll never end up seeing the actual pictures.
Yeah.
Right? So they come up with this big plan, and the Hispanic kid is like, yeah, my uncle or whatever.
The Cuban kid.
Yeah.
It was his Tio, and then it was his cousin, and he was just making shit up as he went.
Yeah. I couldn't follow along whether he was actually just bending the truth or if it's...
I think he was bending the truth. I think he was... I'm sure that he does have an uncle who believes in black magic and the dark rituals that he was talking about. But then also, he was also like, his cousin was probably telling him other stories, because that's what he was talking about. he was like, oh, well, I've seen my uncle do it, but no, actually, my cousin told me about it. And then, but he had like a basic idea of like how it would actually work.
Yeah,
but not
sets it up.
Yeah, but not enough to like really make it work.
So did he actually summon Pennywise in that scene, or kind of just took advantage of it?
He was already there.
Got it. I think it's funny how, because just talking about the way he was describing it, they're all sitting facing each other, and one of them's like, maybe we should turn around so we can see something coming. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what he told me to do.
Yeah, you're right. That's what my Tio mentioned. And it turns around, it's like, yeah, buddy, you're winging it. Yeah, and that's why, like, I don't think he'd ever said any kind of like ritualistic words. He was basically like saying abracadabra in Latin over like, he wasn't really saying anything, right? And so like there wasn't ever actual ritual. They were just pretending. And then Pennywise just happens to also be like, I'm part of the cemetery, so I'm going to do this thing.
Yes. And so they start getting chased, and the whole time they're getting chased, they're getting pictures, really cool ones. But every time they get a picture, Pennywise gets them, drop the camera. And it's just this crazy, ridiculous scene of these kids going with these fun little ghost adventures and creepy fucking things chasing them. And that scene I actually enjoyed, and it made me forget that I was actually watching this show. Yeah. Like, it felt completely different to me.
Yeah. One of the things, too, that, like, yes, Pennywise feeds on these children. And, he, like, legit feeds on them. But he also needs fear to be at an all-time high. Like, that's where he's peaking. So there are going to be multiple situations where the goal isn't to capture or eat the kid. The goal is truly to scare the living hell out of that kid.
I feel like they were having more, like, they were scared, but they were also having fun.
Yeah. When you survive something telling, like truly, like, we could have died kind of situation, usually you can laugh about it afterwards. Or
you don't even realize that was that serious till afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw here, was just nonstop. But the major's son ends up capturing the version of it as the clown when it's inside the crypt. Yeah. But they've got all this photo evidence now of, they went and had it developed. They've got these crazy photos. First, you see the first one. It's like, yeah, I took that one. Yeah. And it was just nothing. It was just a one boy.
Yeah. They're going to submit the evidence. The government's going to absorb it, and it's going to go nowhere. Yeah. And then the government's going to go investigate the crypt, and it's not going to bode well for these children. All their evidence that they just took the time to collect is going to go nowhere. The government's going to eat it.
But we also have the sheriff talking to Ronnie's father with the cigarette conversation.
Yeah, that was interesting. Why was his cigarettes at the scene of the crime?
I don't know. I feel like maybe he was just out, and because he seems to be a single father, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
it's the grandmother and him that raised the daughter.
Yeah, maybe he was just out on a date or hookup.
Yeah, so he wasn't home.
He was someplace he wasn't supposed to be.
Yes.
That he could still get in trouble, but this is way more serious because murder of kids, right?
I do believe that you're onto something. I believe he was at home, but no, he did not murder the kids. But wherever he was, he can't talk about, and so therefore he's caught himself caught up in a jam.
Yes.
But the one thing that thinking too that kind of was like, oh, that may be the solution is like he is the projector man. Like he runs projectors for that movie theater where the kids get killed. Would it be so far-fetched to think that he went out back many, 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 many times to have a cigarette behind that movie theater? And that maybe that pack of cigarettes is old?
They mentioned someplace at a street location. Was he, the sheriff, directly referencing directly behind the movie theater? Was that what he's talking about?
Well,
because I felt like they gave a street name, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is the scene of the crime is the theater. Like it happens in the theater itself.
But it felt like the eyewitness saw him someplace else, is what I'm thinking. Which just contradicts his story of being at home. And that was the only important piece about that.
Yeah, he caught him in a lie, which is all he cared about.
Yeah.
The hard part is there's no bodies. Right? So if there's like a street corner or a street near there that he walks, then he was dragging the bodies, he was carrying the bodies. I don't know. We have to get more information on it, but it doesn't yet connect to me why his cigarettes would be there.
No idea yet.
Yeah. But I agree with you that he's lying about where he was, and that's what's got him caught up in all this right now.
Because the moment that the sheriff walks away, he's like, no, come back, come back. Like,
I didn't hurt those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't, but, you know.
Well, yeah, we know that, but we're observing.
Yeah. The sheriff is also getting a ton of pressure from the rest of the ignorant bigots in town who just want someone to hang for this atrocity, right? And so he was looking for a way to ease his mind and justify what he had done, and all he needed was that lie, and now he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the same thing from that.
Yeah.
He just wanted to make himself feel better.
Yep.
All right.
I really do think that this is coming together. Yes, it doesn't necessarily feel like it if it was just it, but I love that they're tying in The Shining. They're tying in all these different aspects of the Stephen King universe into Welcome to Derry. So I'm enjoying it. I've never read the book I've only ever watched the movies, and I most likely will go back and read that behemoth of a book after this season so I can have more context rolling through. But I really just think that they're doing a great job of introducing these elements in a way that is not overwhelming and just streaming it along to a point where we can have this epic battle that we know between the children and Pennywise that kind of is the signature of it. But the government part's really intriguing to me too right now too. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff, and let us know in the comments below. How do you feel about this season of Welcome to Derry? Are they doing a good job? Are they introducing the right elements? Does it feel Stephen King to you? Or does it feel like a take on something Stephen King once did? Really interested to hear your opinions down below, and any Easter eggs and different references that you noticed in this episode. Let us know. Can't wait to see and hear all you have to say below. Anything you want to add? All right, we got plenty of videos for you right here to check out. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. We'll see you on that next video. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.